Hey, what's going on, Poké fans? So welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Today's video we'll be looking at Vikavolt Wii deck for current standard format for Ultra Prism up to Darkness Ablaze. So this is one of the deck lists that you can use if you decide to play Vikavolt Wii. I'm playing with the Vikavolt for, let's say, last 2 weeks, and I'm really happy with the performance and with how this deck works. And this is the deck list that I used to win basically tournament at my local league. Paralyzing Bolt makes so many problems to opponents, especially if they are playing the deck that really depends on the trainer cards. It hits only for 50, but with some damage modifiers like Electro Power, Vikavolt can actually hit for more than 50 and item lock our opponent hand. So item locking opponents so they cannot play item cards can very be disruptive, and really it is. On the other side, Super Zap Cannon hits for 190 for 2 lightning energies for 1 Colress, but in order to use Super Zap Cannon we need to discard 2 cards from this Pokemon. What makes Vikavolt so special these days is definitely Tapu Koko with the Dense Aviation's ability that can accelerate Vikavolt at the turn 1, as well as Thunder Mountain, which says that whenever any players play Thunder Mountain, the attack cost of Pokemon that are lightning types is going to cost 1 lightning energy less, which basically means that with turn 1 with Guzma and Hala we can easily search the deck for special energy card and for stadium card, and then we can easily power up Vikavolt Wii and hit for 50 and paralyze opponent in hand so they cannot play item cards. Later in the game, if our opponent is in advantage with the prize cards, we can use Counter Gain and, for example, even this Thunder Mountain. And with only 1 energy card attached to Vikavolt, we can use Super Zap Cannon and hit for 190 or even more if we need. So it is a really powerful deck, and it can easily be set up turn 1 to attack. Some other Pokemons that are actually included in this build is of course a Raichu and a Alolan Raichu GX with that Tandem Shock and Lightning Ride GX. If our opponent is not able to use Energy Acceleration item cards, and if he struggles to play even supporter cards, we can easily try to power up Raichu, and for that Tandem Shock we can just hit for 160, paralyze them if it's necessary, especially in the late game when we stamp them to, let's say, 1 or 2 cards, and just end the game possibly, maybe even with that Lightning Ride GX. What also makes this deck special are also Jirachis for the Stellar Wish, or Ikorio with a Dance of the Tribute, and the most important is, in my opinion, Dark Ambition Absol that activate 1 more retreat cost than basic Pokemon a retreat cost, and that makes a lot of problems because Jirachis won't be able to be scooped up, neither switch, neither used by a skateboard, so they might just stuck in the front and the opponent might desperately try to do something out. Of course, there is one, the Dene GX for that Daddy change, as well as Marshadow with Resetting Hole. So speaking about trainer cards, this deck plays 4 copies of Quick Ball as well as 3 copies of Tech Hole for tech support search, for Pokemon search, 2 copies of Stamp for the control, 4 copies of Electro Power for extra damage amplify, as well as 4 switch cards for a switch options, 2 copies of a skateboard for Jirachi to be used, 1 Counter Gain, as well as Cape of Toughness, which is a new card that says that the basic Pokemon that this card is attached gets 50 plus HP, expect for Pokemon EX, expect for the Pokemon GX, meaning that Vikavolt Wii with this Cape of Toughness will have 260 HP. 2 copies of John Bomb, just in case if our opponent is capable to hit for more than 180. So if the John Bomb is attached, let's say, to the Vikavolt and our opponent hits for 180, it will take 10 damage counters back. Bird Keeper as supporter for the switch and draw option, as well as 3 copies of Boss's Orders, 1 copy of Cynthia and Caitlyn, 1 Erika's Hospitality, 3 Guzman Hellas, and as well as 3 copies of Marnie. And moving on to some other cards, we will find in this deck, of course, are going to be 2 Capture Energies, 4 Speed Lightning Energies, and 5 regular lightning energy card. So this is the deck list that I'm going to use in today's video. So if you already didn't, please consider subscribing to the channel for more videos, and also hit the thumbs up and notification bell so you don't miss any future video. Alright, so let's move to the action. So you can see how this deck works in action. So see you in the game. Alright, so starting first, without Vikavolt, without even a basic Pokemon. So perfect start here is always to get Jirachi and maybe Guzma and Hela, potentially a Quick Ball. So we can get that turn 1. Thunder Mountain, Spin Lightning Energy, and let's say Escape Board if it's necessary. So let's just try to draw a fresh hand. Alright, Vikavolt is in my hand as well as Guzma and Hela. I also have Giant Bomb just in case. And Salamence V is on the other side. So the only thing I can do is just attach energy card and pass my turn. My opponent attaches powerful energy and he plays 1 research for 7. So 2 Marnies, research, and Pierce discarded. There's a energy spinner, so he can search the deck for 3 energy cards. He didn't take a single energy. There's a Crobat V. Okay, so he wants to use Crobat. Retreat down to Jirachi for this first Stellar Wish in the game. For Escape Board. Alright, so at least Jirachi can have a Escape Board. There is a Scoop Up Net, alright. Alright, another Jirachi can be used for another Stellar Wish. Into Chaotic Spell, okay, which means only one thing. I will need to go different road here, finding myself a Marshadow for resetting the hall so I can discard Chaotic Spell and put my Thunder Mountain in play. Not quite sure how many Chaotic Spell my opponent is playing, but one thing is obvious, he wastes a lot of Scoop Up Nets turn 1 in order to find a research, but once I item lock him, it's gonna be anyways. So he really needs to decide right now if he wants to go with Escape Board to active Jirachi or not. So he decided not to do it. Alright, I think that was good call for my opponent, so I'm just gonna use Speed Lightning Energy, attach Giant Bomb, and hit my opponent with the Marty. I didn't find too many cards here, but I can Paralyze Ball him for 50, which only means one thing. He cannot retreat his active Jirachi for sure. I have Giant Bomb just in case if he somehow managed to evolve into Salamence VMAX, but that's just not gonna be the case. So probably I'm just gonna lose my Giant Bomb. Additionally, I have Tag Call, which I will probably consider using for something like Cynthia and Caitlyn, in addition to get this Marty in play. So there is a Boss's Orders. I get pretty lucky there because right now I can just use my Bird Keeper. But meanwhile, I'm also gonna use this Guzma and Hela. And somehow I'm thinking about even using this Guzma and Hela and searching my deck for a tool card as well as for stadium cards. So let's go with something like this. Alright, obviously I'm not gonna go with stadium attachment. Perfect. There is a Absol, so I can keep going with this Paralyzing Bolt. And the most important thing is that my opponent can put another Jirachi in the active spot, but if he decides to do it, the retreat cost of him will be 1 more, so he will need also a energy card in order to retreat. So there is a Stellar Wish, and he finds himself a ordinary road, but still he's under the item lock condition. I do have Bird Keeper sitting in my hand, so at this moment Salamence is hitting for 260, which would be exactly enough for the knockout. And I draw myself a Quick Ball. Whew. Let's just Let's just take the risk. Skateboard, okay. Mars Shadow is here for the resetting hole. I do have my Thunder Mountain to play, as well as this one copy of Electro Power, but I will just decide to Paralyze Bolt my opponent for 50, and then Boss's orders on the bench his Salamence Sweemax, so I can hit him for 80 and try to prepare maybe a return knockout either with the Super Zap Cannon or maybe with my Lightning Ride GX or Tandem Shock. But the problem is that he have Marty sitting in his hand and he will definitely goes with it. So as long as he keeps disrupting my hand, I will keep losing the resources. Alright, so there is Jirachi, Marnie, Quick Ball, and Attack Call. So I need energies. And I simply cannot find any of them. Alright, so there is one. Let's go with the Speed Lightning Energy. Can I finally get... Nope. Fortunately, I cannot, but I managed to find myself a John Bomb. I think that's a really important card in this matchup for sure. So let's go with a Paralyzing Bolt. So my opponent can right now knocks out my Vikavolt Wii with his Salamence Sweemax, and he can do that easily. If he decides to do that, John Bomb will hit him for 10 damage, so he will get 10 damage counters, meaning that I'm gonna need 240 damage, so 2 copies of my... So I will basically need 2 copies of Electro Power in order to knock him out. Will I be able to get 2 of them? We shall see. So I'm hitting for 190 plus. I will probably try to just 120. I'll probably just try to maybe paralyze him or something like that. The good thing is that he cannot use Max Wings next turn, so he can just hit for 240. So I'm even thinking about attacking just with a Paralyzing Bolt for 1 more turn and then just finish the job, retreating down to maybe Raichu and a lone Raichu and knocking him out. That can also be part of the plan, but he decided to retreat 1 more time into Stellar Wish. Okay, which only means one thing. If I get lucky with the boss's order, I can catch the Salamence in front and I can maybe just switch into Raichu and paralyze him for like 160. That could also be a good play for me as well. So there is a Lightning Energy, meaning that right now I can activate my Tapu Koko Dance of the Asians in order to basically add an extra energy card. Additionally to that, I have Attack Call as well as Marnie and 2 capture energy cards sitting in my hand. Do I want to capture anything at all? I basically don't need any of these cards. I'm not gonna risk switching to Jirachi and then maybe just missing to attack. Let's just go with the Dene and see if we can get that boss's order. Nope, we cannot, but maybe we can try to find it out. Yep, there it is. There is a boss's orders. So right now I can just retreat and boss's orders his Salamence for 50. He decided to concede the match. So obviously my opponent tried to somehow, you know, dodge the bullet with his Salamence, but at the end he simply couldn't do it. Item block was just simply too much for him, so he's playing Lightning Energy cards. Oh yeah, there is a Tapu Koko. For the moment I thought that he don't have Tapu Koko in his build. So that's the GG, and we're gonna move on to the game number 2. Alright, so we are back with the game number 2. I'm playing Item Lux decks. Opponents will not have good times, but you should definitely have good time, especially if you can item log them and prevent them from being able to play item log, item cards and setup. This is so important in this deck. So I started with a Raichu and a Lone Raichu GX. I have counter gain. I have capture energy, meaning that I can go for maybe setup of something. I do have speed lightning energy as well. I really need to think about what should I do, which route I should take. Oh, top deck, Tapu Koko, that's the good one. Alright, so, let me see. If I go with speed lightning energy, I can get 2 cards in my hand. There is a Vikavolt Wii. I can then also use this Quick Ball, and this card is Oricorio into the Jirachi. My Absol will not have any effect in this game, and I'm just gonna go with a pass. So I'm gonna keep my Raichu and a Lone Raichu GX in the active position. I want to go with a counter gain attachment to my Raichu and a Lone Raichu, 1 John Bomb onto my Vikavolt Wii, and potentially maybe with a capture energy into another Vikavolt, and then the Dene for the fresh hand of 6 new cards, and we shall see if my opponent is somehow capable to maybe hit turn 1 with his I don't know, Vikavolt or Pikachu and Zekrom. So yeah, he's playing Pikachu and Zekrom deck instead. Okay, so 2 Pika Zekroms on the bench. He can add 1 energy to one of those 2. So Stadium definitely benefits my opponent. If I play Stadium, my opponent also benefits from it. So he only needs to find a Tapu Koko, Energy Switch, an Energy card, and Stadium. Actually, he needs a lot of cards. From 6 cards, I don't think that's gonna happen because he already used Volkner. It is my turn, and my top deck is Cynthia and Caitlyn. We're gonna go with 1 Capture Energy attachment, and then I'm just gonna set up my Marshall on the bench, just in case. Gonna add Counter Gain, as well as John Bomb, and we'll see what I can actually get from this Cynthia and Caitlyn. Maybe I can find Lightning Energy. Nope. There is Electro Power, as well as the Dene for Daddy Change. Switch, Quick Ball, perfect. All I really need, I get. So let me just use this Dance of the Ancients. And turn 1. Actually, turn 2, I can item lock my opponent with this Paralyzing Bolt. Alright, so one thing is obvious. John Bomb will not be effective because my opponent can hit maximum for 150, and if he do that, that's perfectly fine for him. I don't have another Dedenne, so I just decided to put another Vikavolt in play instead. He needs a Stadium card. Without Stadium card, he cannot set that full Blitz attack. I can't even knock him out if I cannot find myself a Lightning Energy card. But if I can find the top deck Lightning Energy card, then I can use Super Zap Cannon for 190 and knock the Pikachu. Oh no, I cannot knock it out. I'm hitting for 190. Oh yeah, I can. Actually, 190 plus 80, it's 270. So it's more than enough for the knockout. So I can knock him out, pick myself 3 prize cards, and basically sit in a comfortable position, waiting to see if my opponent can somehow respond with a knockout deck. He can always retreat on the bench to maybe another Pika Zekrom, because in this situation he has 0 aura, so he don't need to worry too much, and even worse, he have Mellow and Lana. So Mellow and Lana helps him to heal 80 damage from Pika Zekrom, which really puts me in an uncomfortable position because I hit for 80, I lost 1/3, and my opponent basically healed all of the damage from his Pika Zekrom, meaning that this is not where you want to be. So for me, the best thing is to somehow top deck, I was gonna say some kind of a Drow supporter, and I did get that. So Guzma and Hala. And of course, I'm gonna grab myself a Stadium card, Cape of Toughness, as well as, no, I'm gonna go for John Bump. No, I don't need John Bump for now. Let me just go with Skateboard and Speed Lightning Energy. So I can keep hitting my opponent with this Skateboard, of course, with this Paralyzing Bolt. I could even knock the Zero Aura out, for example, if I decided to put Stadium in play and just use Super Zap Cannon, but for now, I will just try to... Okay, we shall probably see right now Stadium in play. If that happens, I might consider... I might consider maybe knocking off his Zero Aura so I can have... Yeah, there's a Speed Lightning Energy and Big Charm. So Speed Lightning Energy attached to Zero Aura so you can have free retreat. And of course, Big Charm cannot be used, but Stadium can be placed in play, and then Full Blitz can go for 150, meaning only one thing. I'm gonna need to find myself a way, maybe somehow, to switch my Vikavolt potentially into Raichu and a Alolan Raichu, so that might also be a play as well for me. Alright, so this is going to be a Speed Lightning Energy play into two cards. There's a Resist Stamp, okay. Cape of Toughness, I'm not gonna use for now, so... this Pikachu and Zekrom on the bench really scares me a lot. I decided to remove the Stadium from play so I can potentially force my opponent to promote another Pikachu and Zekrom in the front. After he knocks me out, I will simply try to just use my Tandem Shock and surprise him back. Or maybe even better, Boss's Orders into one of his two Pika Zekroms and knock it out for 160. So for example, I could go for the knock against this one. So at least I can eliminate one Pika Zekrom from play. This might be a play for me, we shall see. I do have this Thunder Mountain sitting in my hand. In reverse, there's a Boss's Orders. Interesting. So he just decided to grab the Dene in the front. So I get a Bird Keeper, and I do have Thunder Mountain, which means that I will use this Bird Keeper, retreat, add Cape of Toughness to my Vikavolt, and right now I can hit him with my Tandem Shock for 160, which is enough for the knockout. And right now my opponent can use turn of item cards. And I don't know why he didn't decide to go with attack with his Pikachu and Zekrom. He wouldn't have enough for the knockout, so he rather just decided to pass the turn, which probably gonna cost him a game. So there is a Tapu Koko. Can he get maybe enough energies to pull a 4 price card knockout against my Dene as well as Vikavolt? We shall see. But if he decide to do that, he could do that, for example, if he had Boss Order Energy in his hand, if he didn't put Pikachu and Zekrom in the front. But, anyways, there is a Big Charm, and he decided to go with the Big Charm on Bottleweed instead on the Pika Zekrom. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 energies. 6 energies, and Bolt Storm hits for 190, 220 at this moment. If he adds one more energy to him from hand, that's gonna be 250 plus Electro Power. He can potentially knock my Raichu and Alolan Raichu out. So if that happens, there's only one thing that I can do, and that's pretty much obvious. With the Stadium card in play, I'm not gonna be able to do too much. So he discarded how many Boss's Orders so far? 2 of them. So what we're gonna do next, we will probably just gonna use Boss's Order on his Pikazakram, hit for 80, stamp him down to maybe 4, potentially trying to get another Boss's Orders in play to be in a position to hit for 190 and for the knockout against that Pikachu and Zekrom for the last 3 prize cards. Otherwise, I might lose this game. So there is one more energy card that's been attached on the Raichu and another Electro Power, which will serve my opponent with the knockout against my Raichu and Alolan Raichu. So no, he decided to go with Attack Volt and then simply with the knockout against my Vikavolt on the bench. Wow, he decided to take that route. Oh no, he cannot take that route because he don't have enough energy cards. Okay. Well, then that was a huge misplay in my opinion. Then that was a horrible mistake and misplay from my opponent. Really it was. Really it was. Okay, so what are we gonna do here? We will just use a Stellar Wish and then we will find another Boss's Orders. Additionally, I'm gonna use this Quick Ball. I'm gonna grab myself another Jirachi just in case, and what I'm gonna do next, just in case of my opponent resistant, I will basically try to get as many cards as I can. So that is a tag call. Let's see if we have maybe... No, we don't have. Okay. So switch into Vikavolt and I can Paralyze Ball him for 80, which basically means only one thing. Next turn I have 2 Vikavolts and my opponent have full bench space. So if my opponent can somehow deny the Boss's Orders that I have in my hand, he can potentially win the game, but if not, the game unfortunately is over for him. In my opinion, it might be a better solution if he just decided to knock me out with the Bolton Wii. He could do that as well, but he can do that right now, and he will do that right now. No, he will not do that right now because he is short for like 10 damage counters, and what I basically have here is a Boss's Orders, but I'm hitting for 190 and 80, and that's enough for the knockout, so I'm just gonna say well played to my opponent. So yeah, this Cape of Darkness actually carried me through the game, and it helped me out to win against Pikazakram. So this game was actually even in my opinion, so even my opponent somehow managed to come back and win this game from nowhere, but luckily I have a lot of experience playing against Pikazakram, so I somehow managed to win that game into my favor. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you already didn't, please consider subscribing to the channel for more videos, hit the notification bell and the likes up so you don't miss any future video. This was the deck list that I used in today's video, so yeah, thank you for your time, and we'll see you next time. And as you can see, Vikavolt definitely interesting deck for current meta. So see you next time.